ICC, the International Criminal Court, the project so far has only cost 23 million euros. Over 1 million documents with photographic evidence, intelligence documents with the Syrian regime's stamp, some of which are personally signed by Assad himself, have been gathered and kept at a secret European location. But there is no international criminal trial ongoing nor expected against the Syrian dictator Assad. Unlike what happened in Bosnia, unlike what happened with Rwanda, no tribunal or judge is currently seeking to prosecute the Syrian dictator Assad. And shall I tell you why? Because he's winning. That's the only reason. Because he's won the war in all but Idlib. And unfortunately, it seems when you win, you have to answer to nobody. And so that really leaves me with the following question. That with Assad winning, despite the overwhelming evidence that he and his regime, some of these documents, as I say, that are being gathered, have his personal signature on them, ordering these abuses. Others have the Syrian regime stamp ordered by his top generals. It begs the question that with Assad about to win completely in Syria, what should our relationship with the Syrian regime be like from here on in? How should we deal with the Syrian regime? I think personally that the regime, a bit like North Korea, should remain a black stain on this planet, that it should forever be viewed as a pariah regime that has absolutely no legitimacy, a bit like North Korea, that it is a regime that has lost all sense of humanity and all sense of legitimacy, and pressure on Putin in particular should remain to a point where Putin believes and comes to believe that it is no longer economically sustainable to support the Syrian regime in the way that he's doing. If the cost is made so high that eventually Putin abandons Assad as an individual, then the regime can be maintained for the sake of stability, but the leader and his leadership around him could be replaced. Practically, I think it's the only way forward, but it's incredibly unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation. But this regime, the Syrian regime, is set to stay, and Assad is set to stay, and the only question from here going forward is what should the West's relationship be like with Syria? The evidence exists. 1 million documents will remain safe at a secret location in Europe. I suggest that they should be guarded by our special forces. The evidence against the horrific crimes committed against humanity by the Syrian regime exist in photographic and official document form. It will make us complicit because of the strength of the evidence. As I say, more documents than were used at the Nuremberg trials. It would make us complicit if we had, before I go to the calls, because Mark is waiting from Enfield, it leaves me to one more point to make. This dictator was waging...
Hopefully no one rings while I'm coming past here. Mustang GT, I think it is. And a BMW. Is it? Is that a BMW? Yeah, BMW.
Mark? Do you work in this area, or are you?
I'm watching what the situation is all over the world in terms of politics.
Yeah.
So,
did you know about these? That's why I'm asking. Did you know about these documents? This 1 million.
No, to be honest, I've heard about them just today from you, really. So I haven't been. I've been watching obviously on media whatever is available about regime, about secret prisons, about murders, about torture, mutilation, etc. To be honest, the regime doesn't differ much from ISIS in terms of
oh no, this is what. So these documents, if what the reports are to believe, they document crimes worse on a scale worse than ISIS. Of course, you can't get far worse than burning people alive and beheading people, but the regime's doing that too. It's melting people. This is one of the biggest and most incriminating cache of documents ever collected from a war that is still in progress. It is damning what these documents, photographically as well as in the form of official documents with the Syrian regime stamp on them, and some with Assad's signature himself. It is damning what they reveal, and as I say, they reveal things worse than ISIS.
That's shocking. That's absolutely shocking, Majid. Again, I think he should be put on trial in absentia, never let to leave the country. No, he's that's what I believe. All the account frozen all over the world. Obviously, the West is a little bit wary of Russia's involvement, another bandit state. So the West is a little bit, particularly West European Western states are a bit cautious about getting involved, because now the relationship between obviously EU and Russia is warming up. So at least there are attempts, to better their relationships.
Just to add to some of what these documents are about, they are corroborated by about 55,000 photographs that were smuggled out of Syria by a military police officer known only by the pseudonym Caesar. He and his team, this Syrian military police officer, pseudonym Caesar, he and his team photographed sometimes as many as 50 corpses a day that were delivered to military hospitals from the security services. So these documents are so meticulous, Mark, that they have a unique 4-digit number on every single corpse. And so the gatherers of these documents, who've been engaged in this task since 2011, they've been systematically filing this stuff in digital form, so that there's a database that you can even search. It is incredible, the scale of the evidence we now have against Assad.
That's shocking. I think they have good advisors in the, obviously, from Russian side. Russians, they have fantastic record on those that type of things.
All right, Mark, thank you very much for calling in. You make a good point there, but perhaps even trying in absentia, someone somewhere needs to answer for these crimes. Tell me what you think. What relationship, if any, should the West have with the Syrian regime now that it looks set to win totally the war in Syria, with the last bastion, the last stronghold of resistance against Assad being in Idlib? Assad, there's no doubt, has pretty much won this war. What should happen next? 0345 60 973. You're listening to Majid Nawaz here on LBC, and the time is 1:15.
This is LBC. The Jaguar XE. The most advanced, efficient, and refined sports saloon Jaguar has ever produced. And
from Thursday the 20th of September. Subject to availability, selected stores, excludes NO in Scotland.
Power sanders, air compressors, angle grinders, combi hammers. You fit a lot into your van. That's why we fit a lot into our van insurance. Like £500 tool cover, a claims line open 24/7, and cover that starts from just £203. Get a quote today, direct from aviva.co.uk.
10% of customers pay £203 or less for our standard comprehensive cover, February to April 2018. Priced individually, tool cover included in comprehensive cover only.
Hit the bullseye this October by becoming a superhero and take a month-long break from the booze to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. No darting to the bar, no doubles. Just wake up happily hangover free. Gain maximum respect to know that you'll be helping to change the lives of people with cancer. It's all in a month's work cyber.org.uk. Game on.
Britain has many noble traditions. The changing of the guard, tea drinking and bog snorkeling. But the tradition that embodies our very essence is undoubtedly the Great British Queue. However, our national pastime is under threat from the fiendishly simple SO app, which will do away with queuing for fuel altogether, meaning one can pay for fuel from the comfort of one's own motor vehicle. One can also collect Club Card points whilst doing so, as if the end of queuing wasn't enough.
The new SO app. Say cheerio to queuing, Britain. For more information, visit so.co.uk. SO app available at participating SO sites only for fuel purchases under £100.
What's the best coffee table decoration? A lamp? A vase? Or, yeah, a big tub of chocolatey goodness. I know which I'd have. Fortunately, at the Co-op, celebrations and quality streets are just £4 each. Now that's a home improvement I can get excited about. Subject to availability. See participating stores for details.
Are estate agents revolting? At eMove we are really revolting. We're revolting and revolutionising to create an easier and fairer way to sell your home. We're calling it an e-movement, combining the benefits and savings of online with real dedicated property experts at every step of your sale. Revolt with us. Join the e-movement. Visit emove.co.uk. Rated the UK's #1 hybrid estate agent on all agents.
Senecalm helps relieve IBS gas-related symptoms. A calm gut can lead to a calm mind, a feeling we like to call gutfulness. And breathe. Achieve gutfulness with help from Senecalm. Always read the instructions.
Majid Noirs on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Good afternoon, it's Majid Nawaz here on LBC. It's been revealed that over 1 million pages of documents are being kept at a secret location somewhere in Europe. They include 55,000 photographs documenting the horrific crimes committed by the Assad regime in Syria against his own population. The secret project to gather this evidence against Assad's war crimes has been ongoing since 2011. It was started as the brainchild of one Bill Wiley, a 54-year-old Canadian ex-soldier and war crimes investigator who has a PhD in the Nuremberg trials. And his view is that he has more documents and more evidence than was used in the Nuremberg trials themselves. The documents themselves contain, some of them, the direct signature of Assad, others the Syrian regime's stamp, and they, as I say, reveal crimes of the most horrific scale. They are safe and sound. They will be used if there ever is a trial against Assad and his regime. But what with Assad completely having won his war against the Syrian population for his regime in Syria, a successful trial, is looking increasingly unlikely. What should our relationship going forward be like with the Syrian regime? Because unlike Bosnia and Rwanda, there is no tribunal to judge the war crimes in Syria at the moment. Should such a tribunal be set up, should Assad be tried in absentia, should the Syrian regime, as I'm suggesting, be completely blacklisted, be viewed as a pariah state in the world, a bit like North Korea, and isolated until the point that it becomes too costly for Putin to continue to defend it, and Assad himself eventually be replaced. 0345 6060 973. Sally wants to speak to us from Kingston. Go for it, Sally.
Good afternoon, Majid. Firstly, thank you very much for highlighting this situation and the documents that have been gathered. What really shocks me is I have heard a talk about the West, the United States, refinancing Syria to rebuild it. And I think that is totally immoral. I think that we should not, I know it's harsh on the Syrian people, but there is money in Syria and there is money in countries that have supported Syria. For example, I believe that Russia is willing to put money into rebuilding. There's also been people that have supported Assad with money, and they have already been buying up land in Syria, I have heard, from a Syrian person who supports Assad. Whether this is 100% true or not, I feel that the West should not be involved in any way, and I'd like everybody to write to their MP to say that, if possible.
Sally, do you worry that, because there may well remain spheres of influence in Syria that still would like to see Assad eventually removed, do you not worry that if we had no economic presence in Syria, and this is an open question, I don't know the answer to it, that we end up isolating our own allies there who would like to see the back of Assad, and that shouldn't we try and somehow remain in touch with them, whether that be through economic cooperation or any other form of cooperation?
I think like everything we try to do by throwing money at things, we have no control over the money, and we don't know how it disappears. And I honestly think that we should stand back in that respect. You know, I don't know that the West can change what happens in Syria, even allies, people who are allied to the West. I also worry what China might do as well, because Russia is sucking up to China big time, and I worry that they will put money into Syria too, because they want influence in every country they can. So I think there's a huge worrying situation, but I don't want British taxpayers to pay money when we could do with money ourselves, and there's better areas to put it at present. And I'm very sorry for the Syrian people, but the West has supported all the refugees, the amount of money that we have sent. I mean, Russia is completely laughing at the way we're spending money, the West and America are spending money, and the EU altogether. I just think that we just have to stand back and see what happens.
What do you think of the idea, Sally, of a trial in absentia of Assad through some form of international criminal court?
Well, I think everybody with a grain of intelligence knows what's going on in Syria. How we manage to bring him to trial is a different matter. I think that his own people will eventually bring him to trial.
He's completely won the war, though, Sally. He's completely...
Well, he may have won the war, but there's still people around him who support him who might be quite happy to see him gone.
Oh, you think there may be some form of palace coup?
Yeah, I think so, because if first of all we don't pay any money, if the West won't give any money, and he's completely cut off, there are plenty of people who hope to make money around him. I think that they will get rid of the person that's stopping the flow of money.
Thank you very much, Sally. Thank you. We'll go to a text and then to Reza, who's waiting on the live has texted. Every government on the planet, with few exceptions, are culpable in war and atrocities against Sudan. We are in no position to condemn any of them, history, past and present, and it sickens me to say this. Assad, Netanyahu, Saudi princes, Putin, Bush, Kim, Join, Yong-un, Tony Blair, how many more? And that's from AA. So this moral relativism, Mr. Palmer, in one text, your comparison between Bush and Blair between Netanyahu and Assad is just, frankly, it's morally bankrupt. Bush and Blair, for all of their errors and crimes, invading Iraq was a huge, gross error, historical significance that I've always opposed. What you cannot do is compare those two leaders to Assad's systematic torture and abuse of the Syrian population. It makes no sense. There is something called scale. And if you cannot put things into context and perspective, I suggest you've completely lost your moral compass, which often happens when you allow hate and dogma to overcome you. To compare Tony Blair, who doesn't boil people alive in vats and melt people and torture them to death, with Assad, you know, and say both are bad and therefore I'm not going to support either, is a morally bankrupt position to take. Only taken by people lacking any spine and understanding of scale and you know, enormity of some of the crimes that war criminals themselves have committed. It's like people used to say things like, well, Churchill's as bad as Hitler because he was a racist against South Asians. Have you just lost it when you speak like that? Completely lost the plot. Churchill was perfect and committed, yes, things that I would today find completely morally objectionable, such as his racist remarks regarding Bengalis during the Bengal famine. But to compare Churchill to Hitler, or to compare Blair to Assad, is just frankly it's appalling. Anyway, if anyone wants to try and make that comparison, feel free to call me up. I'll speak to you. 0345 60 60973. Reza wants to speak to us from Hartford. Go for it, Reza.
Hello, Majid. Hello. Hello.
Yep, you're on it.
Yes, I'm from Persia, and I was in there for nearly 10 years. And the first thing, that's the war between Shia and Sunni. And at the moment, Shia people over there is genociding and killing Sunnis, I think.
In Syria?
In Syria,
yeah.
Shias, and who listens to me now from my country? If anybody supports Syrian regime, is share in this bloodshed.
And how do you know? Have you been involved, Reza?
No, my thought is yes. Because I think the Iranian Air Force now bomb the Syrians. They're using the MiG-23 Syrian Air Force to Hezbollah. If one day Syrian government goes down, Hezbollah will be deterred. That's the reason Iranian people supporting Syrian government. And you know, they brought the Russia in the middle. They spend the money. The money to killing the Syrian people from Iran. And if they don't sell oil, they have no money to support them.
So, Reza, talk to me about, because you sound now like it's almost as if you're a defector from the Iranian Air Force. You've served in the Iranian military, but you're now speaking against the Iranian military.
Because after 1979, the Iranian army, the real Iranian army, they sold. And every day, the Iranian government giving them more money, more weapons to the another part of the army. It's called the Revolutionary Guard. And they are total terrorists.
The Revolutionary Guard, which is it's the elite force that keeps the supreme leader in power, yes?
Yes.
Did you see in the news today, Reza, that there's been a terrorist attack in regard?
Yeah, they did. Why? What's the big question, I think? Why terrorists didn't kill the people sitting on the top? They killed only soldiers. Why they kill only soldiers? They want to find the excuse to kill the Sunnis and Arabs in Iran. That's something very strange to me. Why the four terrorists, ISIS, came and shot the innocent people on the street, don't kill the people sitting on the top, like a mullah, like a general.
Yeah.
It's the question.
Indeed. You're asking for logic and humanity from ISIS, but anyway, thank you for calling in there, Reza from Hartford, putting the finger, again, fairly squarely as well, at the Iranian regime and its participation again, backed on, no doubt, by the Russian regime to support Assad in Syria. We're going to carry this on. The time now at 1:31. It's time for the news headlines with Tim Humphrey.
Jeremy Corbyn says he'd back a second EU referendum if that's what party members want. The Labour leader has suggested he would support a people's vote for the first time as the party conference gets underway. A teenager has died after he was shot in East London. The 19-year-old man was taken to hospital by friends after the attack in Walthamstow around 11 last night. The government's advising against all travel to Syria after Britain claiming to be a pharmacist from Birmingham was detained there. It's understood the man was held by Kurdish forces around a month ago on suspicion of being a member of Islamic State. LBC weather, heavy rain moving east across southern England, clearing by late afternoon, sunshine and heavy showers elsewhere, a high of 14 degrees.
This is LBC.
Lucky me. At Hyundai, we're big fans of hard work. It's the reason our cars are so well made they come with a 5-year unlimited mileage warranty. It was hard work that helped us make our bold SUV, the new Tucson, even more refined inside and out. But hard work needs a reward, which is why you get an additional £500 list price saving if you test drive and buy the new Tucson before the end of September. Book your test drive at Hyundai.co.uk. Terms and conditions apply.
Based on Sarah Waters' best-selling novel and from the Academy Award-nominated director of Room, critics are calling The Little Stranger a spine-tingling drama.
A long time ago, was this child here?
Susan died before I was born.
Deliciously dark and mysterious.
Blame.
Superb. One of the year's finest films. 5 stars.
Next is a mystery to me.
The Little Stranger. In cinemas now.
thrilling symptoms to a calm mind, a feeling we like to call gutfulness. And breathe. Achieve gutfulness with help from Senecal. Always read the instructions.
If you're looking for a credit card with a credit limit up to £1,500, go to checkocean.co.uk and see in seconds if you'll be accepted for an Ocean credit card before you apply. Checking won't affect your credit rating, so it's a no-brainer. Find out if it's a yes. Go now to checkocean.co.uk. 39.9% APR requested variable. Intelligent Lending Limited is a credit broker. Capital One is the exclusive lender.
Checkocean.co.uk. Hello, my name is Nengi, and I was diagnosed with cancer.
Help children like Nengi beat cancer by popping your pre-loved clothes, accessories and homeware in a bag and donating it at any TK Maxx. Each bag could raise up to £30 for Cancer Research UK Kids. And the more you have, the greater the risk. Drink less by having more drink-free days can help reduce the risk of developing breast cancer. Remember, there's a be more drink aware. Stay out and prove be.